Rick Hong here for Hollywood First Look. Today, I'm talking with director Arlene Nelson, and we are talking her docuseries, Angel City. Let's take a first look.
What would this look like if we started a team? There's no playbook. You have to write your own.
It's the whistle, and away we go. It's there. And the ball!
I have to ask you just for fun, right off the bat, if you had buckets, how many tears do you think would fill those buckets after doing this series?
You know, I think that this story exemplifies so much of what women pro athletes have had to deal with for so long. And I think that we're at a turning point now where, you know, those buckets are going to be filled with tears of joy, because I think there's so much struggle and so much hardship that has come before where the league is at now. And of course, with the 99ers and so much success. So where things are at right now is on the shoulders of so many pro athletes, female athletes that came before this particular class of athletes.
When you do a documentary, I know there's like a roadmap, but sometimes it can kind of go all over the place. So I wanted to know, how linear did your roadmap stay for this? Or at least with your intention? Or did you find doing interviews and actually documenting, you're like, oh, wow, this actually takes me off to go here instead?
This story is so complex, as you will see in just 3 episodes, what we had to tell. And what we knew going in that the core story was the origin story of how these 3 women from different industries come together in this very unexpected way with a passion and a mission to shake up the status quo and do things differently and have a profound effect that ripples out, that goes beyond soccer, that goes beyond sports. And but it starts there, right? So at the core, that was always what we would always continually go back to. And so we started to choose themes that would also loop back to our core. But we also knew that we needed to seat the viewer in the context of, where is this team in the league? Where is this league in the history of women's soccer? So we knew that we also had a heavy lift of explaining where things were at, where things started 10 years ago and where things are at now. And so you need to understand the history before you can understand how extraordinary the movement, how extraordinary of a time this is for pro female athletes and for pro female soccer athletes specifically.
You talk about the team, there's a lot of big hitters that are a part of this team and this movement, but the same thing for your docuseries. There's you, but then you have, Chai Vasarely, you've got Jimmy Chin, Natalie Portman, Oscar winners. So I don't know if that puts more pressure on you or if that actually helps you get this whole thing done.
One of the great things that we did was we would have story meetings once a week. And so that was something that would help all of us sort of stay on track, understand like the new storylines coming in as things are evolving. And so I think having all of that support from that incredible brain trust was just additive. It gave Christine O'Malley and I, my executive producer, my senior producer, Tanisha Sanders, it gave us sort of this, just having that support just was able to give us the roadmap to where things, where we were at, and whether we wanted to stay on track or go off track. In some cases, as stories developed and evolved, it was necessary to also follow, what was going on, especially as things unexpectedly change.
Angel City is now playing on HBO and streaming on Max.